All right, 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? I don't know. You know how this goes. There's always some kind of technical difficulty. Wednesdays are the days where YouTube doesn't send out notifications, and I guess Fridays are when OBS decides when they're going to play my ads correctly, or my pre-uploaded ads that I have on OBS. I don't know why there was no sound or why the sound bar was completely muted, but we will at the end. I'll run for the advertisers. I will run those again at the end if you guys want to see the ad. By the way, the second ad, the Stated Apparel, I had to wipe the music they had uploaded on that. So Stated Apparel had their own custom song, right, attached. Well, it wasn't their own custom. It was I forgot the name of the guy. He's a star, though, and you can Shazam him. And there's a song that they uploaded on their advertisement. It's really catchy. It's honestly a really kick-ass ad. But if you upload it to YouTube, it hits me with a copyright strike. So I had to completely wipe their music out, which killed me to do that because it was a really awesome song. And I'm not even into country. And I had to bring in my own music with it. So I had to kind of edit that sound out and then replace it. And but it's really unfortunate. I'm pretty sure on their website you could probably listen to the original song. I think I have it somewhere stored away. Maybe I'll play it on Discord for those of you who even a casual country music fan would probably dig it. It was really good. I hated that I had to wipe that out. Sorry that the sound was muted again for the sponsors. I'll play those ads again towards the end of the show. Welcome everybody. I don't have my drink with me. I had a Diet Dr. Pepper, and I want it. I'm thirsty. I want it. I'm going to go get that here in just a second. First, speaking of the sponsors really quick, by the way, thank you to everyone who was giving me a heads up on the sound. I got like 3 DMs like, bro, we have no sound. So again, OBS has its own separate for advertisements where I've created an advertisement tab for the sound. I don't know why it was muted. I have no idea. I don't know. OBS is working fine, though. So for sponsors, really quick, Direct Service Overhead, Travis Ford, he might be in chat. I'm not sure. He usually comes through, stops by, says hello. But him and his boys over at Direct Service Overhead, they operate out of Central and Northwest Arkansas, practically cover quite a bit of the state, as I'm told. They do good work. They will repair or replace your garage door and whatever kind of, whatever work you need. As long as it has something to do with that garage door, by golly, they'll hook you up. You can check them out. Their link is provided for you down below in the description box. Stated Apparel, who I just mentioned with their ad with the music overlay that I had to replace. Stated Apparel, who sell the softest shirts in the world, all made locally, baby, right here in the fine state of Arkansas. You can check out their entire inventory with the link provided for you down below in the description box. There's also a link in our Discord for our 2 sponsors. So, yeah, if you're down in the in Benton, they have a store there as well. If you're ever in the area, stop by, say hello. We had a few people a couple of weeks ago who bragged about going to their store, so that's really cool. So, or at least said that they said the women down there, the ladies that work the store, were really nice. I think is what they said. So it's really cool. Hello, Tyler. Hello, John. How are you, sir? 14 years overdue to beat Bama. Yeah, I don't know. What up, Ty? Woo Pixie. I don't want to get put in timeout again, so I'll be nice to fake Arkansas fans today. What? Just because they disagree with you doesn't mean they're fake, Michael. I forgot what you were carrying on about on Wednesday. Now that I try to recall, I don't remember what you were going on about, but I think it was kind of a goofy take, if I remember right. Look, we're all victim. We all fall victim to goofy takes. I get it. Do me a favor, like. Let's get the likes up on the stream. Share the content across the social medias. I would appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe. Sub. This next week, our schedule is going to get interesting. I really should have came to you guys with the schedule today. I'll probably get you updated tomorrow after the game on what we're going to do for next week. Obviously, the games, there's it's going to be a mixed bag next week for sure. No notifications. Yeah, you're not the only one to DM me that. What else is new? I guess Friday's also going to be a day where they don't send out notifications. What's up, Ty? I can make the live show. That's good to see, G-Rec. Thanks for being here. Going to Hogs versus A-State. Tony? Okay. I've heard Hudson Clark might be out this week. I hadn't actually heard that one yet, but we have the Bama breakdown. I've got quite a bit of notes on Bama. Hey, Hog fam, look, we're gonna have to bring our lunch, and you know what Houston Nut says? That ball doesn't bounce straight. We need them all. Go Hogs. Yeah, that's he had several really good one-liners. Houston Nut. What's up, Ty? What's up, Cody? How you doing, man? How you doing? How you guys doing? All right. We had the post-game show Wednesday night after Arkansas, I don't want to say snuck out of Bud Walton on their home court with a win, but it felt like they kind of snuck out. The score not reflective. Like I mentioned on Wednesday, I mean, look, that score was not reflective of what actually transpired on the floor. And I said that if you looked at those numbers, what Arkansas did, you would think they would have won by 15 or 20. Well, they won by 13. What I was trying to say was that you would figure they would hold that kind of lead the entire game. That obviously didn't happen. It was kind of a back and forth, and they kept it close the entire game. It was honestly a good basketball game. If I'm being 100% honest about it, it was a good matchup. It really was. We'll see how those guys go on. We'll see what they do. Talking about NIU. It's hard to believe, too. Like, you look at those numbers. They had to have done something freakishly crazy to keep that game the way it was. And it was just knocked down a whole ton of threes. So, yeah. All right, we're going to get started really quick. I'm gonna go run and grab my Diet Dr. Pepper here in just a second, but we're gonna start off with basketball really quick. Just some other observations. We know that Arkansas, we're about to hit kind of a small, I don't want to say a break, but let me pull up the schedule here. Yeah, you are unbeaten. And November 22nd, you're going to take on Kansas State in this tournament, or this Hall of Fame, whatever you want to call it, Hall of Fame matchups with Kansas State, possibly Cincinnati or Illinois. And then again, that's on the 22nd and 23rd, so that's going to be back-to-back days, Monday and Tuesday of next week. I'm going to do post games for both of them. For whatever happens, I'm going to do post games. As long as, like I said, as long as Razorback football, I can watch the game, there's going to be post games. I mean, that should be every game, which has been the case now for the last several years as far as them being televised. And then basketball has been a little bit trickier, but I'm still, as long as I have access and I can watch those games, which we will be able to, this is going to be on ESPN News, and then on the 23rd, it'll be ESPN News or ESPN2. So we will have access one way or another. Also, a small update. Some of you guys remember the Discord channel. Not Discord, sorry. The Twitch channel. I was just reading this the other day. Hogball Twitch, is that what it was called? Someone help me out. It was Luke Never Shaves. You guys know, I think you're somewhat familiar with him. I know he used to be kind of popular on message boards, on Hog Sports boards, or I think even going back to the Rivals days when Trey Biddy and Danny West were on Rivals. I think he goes back a ways. He had a Twitch channel where he was just streaming the games. So he got a notice. Whoa. That's definitely a scam call. My bad. But he had a Twitch channel where he was streaming the games. He was notified by Twitch, and I saw it briefly, and I'm trying to find it. Let me see if I can pull up all the things that. Hang on. Well, he was notified by Twitch. I think his channel was taken. So that's two of his. Woo Pig Streams was the name of it. Here it is. I found it. This was what I guess he was sent by Twitch. Twitch committed to keeping our community safe for everyone, and as a part of that, we require all users to ensure that anything shared on their account abides by Twitch terms of service and community guidelines. So and the reason why I'm bringing this up is I've had a number of you, I've either had DMs or people going back on comments on older videos like, what's going on? How do I watch the game? I don't have access to stream it. I'm going to try if I can. I'm going to get into a habit of streaming these games in Discord. If they're on ESPN3 or the ESPN streaming platform on their website, I should be able to share it. If I have to watch it on YouTube TV, I won't be able to share it. Somehow YouTube TV blacks it out, and you can't. I don't even think you get sound when you stream it on Twitch or on in our Discord. But I think as long as it's on ESPN, as long as it's straight from their site, I'm able to stream it. We did it the other night. We had a few people in there too, I think, if I remember right. But anyways, based on a review of your activity or content, we have issued community guidelines strike on your account. As a result, your access to Twitch services is temporarily restricted. Incurring multiple violations may result in permanent suspension. Reason: displaying unauthorized copyright content on stream or VOD. So it sounds like Woo Pig Streams is probably down for the count. This is like his second channel to get taken down on Twitch. So that's unfortunate because, I mean, I talk to people who are like, yeah, I completely got rid of paying for any streaming service because I was watching Luke Never Shaves or watching his Woo Pig streams. That's unfortunate. I get why Twitch does it. They can get in trouble. Look, you guys can blame corporate America, whatever. I mean, I get it. It's bullshit. But at the same time, I get it on their side of the aisle as well because, like, that's their platform. They own the content. Listen, if you're going to stream my content, yeah, I'd probably want to get paid, or I would want there to be steps in place. So I get it. It sucks. Like I said, if I'm able, and if I think I can do it without getting in trouble and getting my Discord taken down, I might try and stream some games in our Discord. In our Discord. I don't have a Twitch, but in our Discord. So for now, it seems like you can do that. I have seen that in a couple other Discord channels that I'm in where they're able to do that. But again, if it's on YouTube, it won't do that. All right. Moving on to basketball here really quick. I wanted to point this out. Senior guard J.D. Note is currently ranked 28th in the country in points per game. When you consider that's unbelievable. I mean, really it is. And there's also other teams out there who have played 4 games. They've played more than where Arkansas is at, or they're tied for as many games as Arkansas has played or more. And he's tied for top 30 in scoring, and that's in points per game. And to think, this last game he was the second leading scorer. Also, Musselman was on Josh Bertaccini this morning. It's very clear, and I think it's the most obvious thing in the world to say at this point. Arkansas's three-point defense is trash. It's been terrible. And he acknowledged that this morning on Josh Bertaccini. I don't know if you guys are able to catch him, but he's on 92.1 The Ticket around here. And Musselman basically just backed that up with, we got to get better here. We're going to fix it. And he basically made a promise on air. You can bet it's going to be fixed. And I have no doubt if anyone has the ability to fix a weakness that's as big of a weakness as Arkansas has with their perimeter defense, if there's any coach out there that can rectify or fix any issues, it's going to be Eric Musselman. So I don't think you stay that low. I'm not saying you're going to see a massive turnaround. I don't know. I think he's got the pieces to do it. Maybe he switches things up. Maybe he does alternate his 8-man rotation. I think Likes is a little bit of a liability outside defending the three. I really do. I know he sticks on whoever has the ball like White on Rice, but he's easy to kind of get over. You could shoot over him. I mean, I think that Bertaccini brought that up this morning. The height. The differences in height because Likes is so small. There's no doubt in my mind if Likes were 3 or 4 inches taller and had a little bit longer arm length, he'd be a nightmare on the perimeter. I don't think it's effort. Good luck trying to drive on him. He'll take the ball away. He's a great defender until it comes time to forcing contested shots. And I think he could even improve in that area. And that was another thing that Musselman talked about when he transferred in. When Likes transferred in, said that he was not a very good defender, and he feels like he's done a lot better. But Arkansas is ranked 339th in 3-point defense. There's no excusing what we've seen so far. There's no excuse. Like it just is what it is. Hopefully they get it corrected, and I think they will. I really do. I'm not saying they're going to go from where they're at now to being the number 1 3-point defense in the nation like they were his first season here. That's when you knew the light bulb came on. Oh, my God, the job that he had done with Isaiah Joe and Mason Jones, but also that 3-point defense is unbelievable. I mean, it was incredible. I think some of that, too, if you remember, teams were having a little bit easier time driving lanes. They were having a little bit easier time moving the ball inside the paint compared to these last couple of years, and that probably did play a factor. I remember that. I watched every game but like 2 his first year, and I walked away just so impressed. And then combine that with his with that incoming class, and I put him as a Sweet 16 team. At the time, it was me and very few others saying that. I think Neighbors was one. I think John Neighbors said that he saw them as a Sweet 16. I don't remember what they were saying on like maybe what Dudley Dawson, who's in my opinion probably one of the better people to follow in terms of basketball. We know his connections with the university, the basketball program. There were a few out there, but not many. And definitely the national media didn't see that. And I felt like, okay, I've watched enough basketball to know and kept up with recruiting long enough to know, damn, like this is going to be fun. And I think, too, you have to combine Muss's intensity. I mean, he's out there on the court, man. I feel bad for those officials sometimes. Not really because they're SEC officials, so I'm kind of like, what goes around comes around. You're the worst in football and basketball. I think the SEC they've got to put more pride in their officiating, and they clearly have not done that in a long time. But Muss's intensity is just unreal. And his attention to detail, something that stood out that year 1. It just stood out. I think I said at one point, he's like the Bobby Petrino of watching film, of paying attention to the small little bits of detail and little bits of information he gets here and there. That was something Petrino was known for. And as far as being like an offensive mind, and building a program from the inside out. I'm seeing a lot of blonde on the back of a bike Petrino in Musselman in terms of what he does on the court. All right. Off the floor, I think he's got a great marriage. I think he loves the area. I don't think that this is an issue of what's going on with Petrino. Obviously, it's not fair to compare sports, and it's not fair to compare individuals like that. But you get what I'm saying in terms of what he's accomplished. Very reminiscent of Bobby Petrino when you kind of compare the two sports side by side. Again, you're not really supposed to do that, but his attention to detail and wanting to correct every tiny – listen to Tyler Wilson talk about Bobby Petrino. I've heard him talk about Petrino a couple of times back when he used to be on the air with the Morning Rush with Tommy Kraft and the boys when Neighbors was there. And listen to what Tyler Wilson – maybe there's a podcast out there where Tyler's talked about working under Petrino. It's intense, and it's look, CEO mentality, man. Some people have it, some people don't, and Petrino has it, and I think Muss has it too. If I was the CEO of a company, I'd hire him for like the marketing side of things. That guy, he just gets it, and he's helped. What's great too, and this will be the last thing I say. He came in with a foundation laid, right? Mike Anderson did a great job laying a phenomenal foundation. Like the expectation in Arkansas basketball was, during the season, we're going to be trouble. Like, we're respectable during the season. We know Mike Anderson's record. I mean, the guy honestly got it done for the most part. The start of the season to the end of the season, he didn't get it done enough where you receded higher and he couldn't get it done in postseason play. That's where Musselman, I think, has built his mansion. Right, he's building each layer to this massive house. Hopefully it becomes a dynasty. Wouldn't that be something? But he's able to do that in part because of what Anderson was able to achieve before him. And don't get me wrong, I was a pretty big criticizer of Anderson at the end of his career at Arkansas. I was pretty blunt and honest. I thought it was time to walk away. So, and I'm glad they did. And I love Mike Anderson. There's no one, I don't think there are very many people that wanted him to succeed as badly as I did. But I know a lot of people, we wanted that 40 minutes of hell. We wanted the old days of what Arkansas basketball could do with full court press and what they were able to do defensively, and the kind of teams that were put on the floor is very, what we thought would be reminiscent of what used to be is what we thought we were getting out of Mike, and we never got it. And so it is what it is. Okay, really quick, I'm going to play this ad really fast for you guys. I'm going to go grab a drink. I'll be right back.
At Direct Service Overhead, we know how much trust you put in the individuals who have the privilege of working on the components of your home. We understand that a broken garage door is the last thing you want to be worried about, and most of the time, doors break at the most inconvenient times. Our professionally trained technicians service 24 hours a day, and our high-cycle parts are guaranteed to make a noticeable impact on your garage door without putting a damper on your wallet. If you're looking for need of assistance maintaining your current garage door, our team has the experience and expertise to deliver the results you deserve. Give Direct Service Overhead a call today or visit us online to learn more.
Okay. Had to move my lighting. Oh, get over here. Get over here. Okay. So, I think it goes without saying that this game this weekend, spread right now at 20.5. 20.5 points. Does it get... I think I get the why the spread is what it is. Would it be much different if this were neutral side at home? Probably not much. I mean, Bama, say what you will about Bama this year. They have been a little bit kind of, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde this season, right? Kind of back and forth in terms of what they are, and I'm telling you, when you watch, like, it's not fair to just watch highlights of Bama this season. It's not fair to just catch highlights. Move. Stop. Move, damn it. Okay. It's not fair to just watch highlights because there's a lot of good that Bama's done, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Bama's clearly one of the best offenses in the SEC. They've got a more than capable quarterback. But they've got a couple of games this season under their belts where it's like, look, at Florida, you can argue against a not good Florida team. They probably could have lost that game. They lost to a very meh Texas A&M football team. They lost to those guys. I mean, you remember how this thing started against Arkansas when A&M and Arkansas played. You felt like, my God, if they keep it up, they're going to win this thing like 45-3 or 45-7. Arkansas, until KJ Jefferson went down, it was easy. It just looked simple. Now, to be fair, Bama had to go there, play at College Station. That's not easy. That's not very easy. That's not easy at all. Arkansas struggled to win there back in the day, and a lot of teams do. It's not an easy environment, but I mean, this is Bama, right? And I'm not going to say a downed A&M, but a very meh A&M Aggie football team. So I kind of thought, I don't remember what the point spread was on that, but I remember watching that just being completely shocked at how poor Bama played. You look at the LSU game. Okay, LSU could have won that football game. I sat here and told you guys I thought Saban was going to beat the dog shit out of the LSU Tigers. I really thought that's what was going to happen. They didn't. LSU could have won that game. This is a very Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde Alabama Crimson football team. There's no doubt about that, right? They have some questions, but for whatever reason, this game could be 30 points on the spread, and no one would really bat an eye. No matter what you think of Arkansas, that's just they're kind of I don't want to say an anomaly, but they're not playing their best at times during this year. But Nick Saban seems to always be ready. He takes Arkansas serious every year, and I think he gets kind of tired of some of the rhetoric. Like there's this expectation that Alabama should just mud stomp Arkansas because they do. Typically, I mean, you're going all the way back to 2006, like we talked about the other day, since the last time the Razorbacks beat the Crimson Tide. So with that comes this entitlement, but yet they do it. He gets mad about it, but yet they do it. And it's unfortunate. There have been a couple times, you look at the Brett Bielema era when, games were really close, and I think those were some very underrated Razorback teams and what have you. But I really this is a game that I don't feel good about on whichever way you want to look at it. I don't like this matchup at all for Arkansas. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a real tough game. Let me read your comments here really quick. Come on, Ty, tighten up. Do you partake before you come into these streams? Do you never mind. I don't know what that means. Tighten up. Are you trying to say loosen up maybe? Or hey, let's be a little bit more positive about the game? I don't know. 43 made threes against Arkansas. Yeah, that's really bad. Must posted that on Twitter. I've been on Twitter like 10 minutes today, I think. Well, thankfully, Arkansas hasn't paid the price yet for lazy perimeter D. They haven't yet, Michael. They haven't yet, but they haven't played. I would argue they haven't played teams that could take advantage of that yet. Like, not fall apart in the way that NIU did. All of our sports are headed in the right direction. Softball and women's b-ball have surprised everyone. Men's basketball could make the Sweet 16 again. Arkansas football is back. In baseball, track and field, golf, yep, they're doing well. They are. There's no doubt about it. Hunter Yurchek looks like a genius right now. Anyone else? Let's see. Anyone else see or hear that the flu's running around on through campus on Bama? So I did read an article that they think flu cases are going to be the worst we have seen in a long time. So maybe there's some truth to that. I don't know. If we coin toss, or if we win the coin toss, we need to receive the ball. We cannot let Bama get a touchdown on the opening drive, says Hayden Rose. What up, Ty? What did I miss? We just kind of started off a little bit of basketball. You don't have to look hard for the game. Just search Arkansas versus Bama and add the live filter. Says Polybus. Are you talking about here on YouTube? He might be out of here. I don't know. But if you can do that on YouTube, there you go. There you go. Again, if we have access to it, I will try and stream it in our Discord if I'm able to. Ty, I'm partaking on the coffee. Loosen up and have faith. Look, okay. This is where it's not a matter of not having faith. I don't know why I get told that. I've been accused of being a sunshine pumper, and I've been accused of being like too negative. Guys, I just call it like I see it, and I feel like I have to say this every time I predict a loss. against Georgia, I predicted a loss, and I had a couple of people in chat being like, you don't have faith. Come on, Ty. Thought you liked the Razorbacks, so on and so forth. Guys, you have to be – there's reality, logic. These things have to kind of set in. You're playing Bama on the road. Nick Saban hasn't lost to you in a long, long time. And even though this is again, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's Mount Everest at this point. This is it's a good Alabama team. It's not Alabama good. It's a good football team. Alabama good makes the playoffs, and they're the clear front runners in the SEC. That's Alabama good. Overall, for what we would consider for the rest of college football, they're good. Right? They're good. Some would even argue a really good team. They just, they laid an egg against A&M. Had a bad week. You do play the game on the field after all. Arkansas will play Bama close in the first half, but Bama pulls away in the second half. 42-17 tied, says Mike. People are delusional. Yeah, again, it's not impossible that they could, is this game within reach? It is if Bama shows up, if the same Bama that showed up against A&M, the same Bama that showed up against LSU, the same Bama that showed up against Florida, is it within reach at that point? Then it's like, okay, Arkansas still has to play really, really sound football in order for that to happen. And that's gonna be tough. There's no doubt about it. That's gonna be really, really tough. If we keep them from covering, that's a good game. Right now the spread's at 20.5. That was the Discord question of the day. Do the Razorbacks cover the spread? Last I looked, and that was early this morning, it was 20. It was 20.5 was the spread. So that's the Discord and YouTube question of the day. Hawes says, well, I got us winning a close one, so yes. Sir Blue Eyes says, yes, not only do we cover, but get the major upset. Boy, whew, that's 2 for 2 on picking the Hogs. Turkey Twister says, could go either way. I expect us to score over 20. But he's going with the Hogs at 20.5. Okay. Excuse me. Big Man Ross, I like this. Yeah, we cover, but only lose by 10. That's a grounded. I get that pick. Like, okay, yeah, if Arkansas shows up, looks like they, what would you say is their best offensive performance? Ole Miss. They come in and they play like they did against Ole Miss on the road, and their defense plays like they did. I mean, against LSU, I would argue either LSU or Texas A&M. Those are great defensive efforts. If you bring these two, combine them together. Arkansas Pine Bluff special teams. Nick Prody expected to be back this week. That could be those things all come together. Yeah, I think you could lose by 10, even at that point. Probably keep it close, depending on what Bama team shows up. Broham says, I hate to say it, but we are not ready talent depth wise to hang with Bama. No, comma. Bama beats us like a drum, just like the Georgia Bulldogs did. Eagle says, I say we cover. Bama isn't at the level Georgia is, and there's a lot of pressure going into this game more so than the Georgia game. You got to remember, too, the Georgia game, I get the comparison there because these are the two super, what do you want to call them, the Super Saiyans of the SEC this year. But Georgia's like well beyond that, it seems like. I'm kind of curious how they respond in the playoffs, assuming they get there, which they should. But I'm curious how they play in the playoffs. I'm really curious what that team looks like, and I don't know what's going on with them at quarterback. I feel like you could drop anybody at quarterback for Georgia, and they're going to have the same performance that Stetson has just about every week. But then Stetson has that senior touch to it, like he's been there and he's done it. So that's going to be interesting to see how Georgia reacts in the playoffs. But Eagle says, I say we cover. Bama isn't at the level. Georgia, blah, 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 blah. A lot of pressure. If our defense plays as good as it did last week, we keep it close. He's taking Bama 24-14. Again, I like that score. Kelly says, yes, I'm going with a 10 to 14-point loss. Hogs by 90. Let's see. Scrolling down. Yes, Bama only wins by 14 or 17, says Dragon Slayer. And Chris Jones says, yes, we cover. and win as long as Burks can show out and we run the ball effectively. Okay. Some of those, I like some of those. What Arkansas team do we see? Hell, we get beat by 20 at least. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Not if the Arkansas offense that showed up against Ole Miss, the Arkansas offense that showed up in the first half against A&M. Of course, you would want that for two halves, but in that second half, you didn't have KJ Jefferson. I disagree with that. I don't think that that's going to be the case if you come in and take care of business, limit mistakes, no false starts, no jumping off sides, which has just killed Arkansas this year, no illegal blocks downfield, no punt or special teams gaffes. There's a lot of things there, but I think if you do that, I think you cover the spread if you do all that, without a doubt. I think even if good Bama shows up and you do those things, you could still possibly cover the spread. Do I really think that happens? I don't know. We'll get to that in a minute. I say Bama 31, Arkansas 21, just being real. Okay, but Michael, you got to be a real Hog fan, though. That's not being a real Hog fan. You're picking against the Hogs. Good thing we're in the CBS national game. Bad thing we have to listen to Gary Danielson for 4 hours. Tell me about it. Hogs by 90, but really probably not. Definitely not. To win, we would have to have everyone have a season-high game with the ball bouncing our way a couple of times. I think that's probably pretty accurate, Polly Bust. I think that's on the nose right there, my friend. That's on the nose. Everyone's going to have to play their asses off. Let's get into this matchup. Let's go into the matchup. Hogs and the Crimson Tide. So, really quick, some Bama injury news. This was from a couple days ago, so this list might be a little outdated. But the Crimson Tide's running back depth already thin heading into the game. Has become even thinner after Roydell Williams injured in the second quarter. He went straight to the locker room. I don't have an update on him. But Alabama already has lost running back Jace McClellan for the year to an injury, while the freshman running back Kamar Wheaton has not been healthy enough to play this season. Starting safety DeMarco Helms also left the New Mexico State game with a thigh bruise. You know how those bruises, man, they can be tough to play through. That he had coming into the game. Saban said Daniel Wright replaced him in the lineup. Starting left guard Javion Cohen and center Darian Dalcourt didn't play. Saban said Cohen had a wrist issue that was repaired and that he is fine. Cohen and Dalcourt are both expected to be participants this week against the Razorbacks, but they are a little banged up. Looking at Bama on offense, I typed this out a little differently this week, but I'm just going to read what I have typed out line for line. Bryce Young, he's the second leading passer in the SEC. He's already over 3,000 yards through the air, 29 touchdowns, only 8 picks. Jamison Williams, who's an Ohio State transfer at the wide receiver spot, leads the SEC in receiving yards with 1,028 and 10 touchdowns. Will be interesting. It'll be an interesting matchup for Mo Brown in the secondary. Going to see how much Mo Brown has a tendency to take guys completely out of games. I'm telling you, he's making himself money with every single game. Bama is the number one third down converting offense, and not just the SEC or the SEC West, but in the entire country. That's insane. That's ahead of some really elite offenses, right? I mean, that's pretty crazy. Crimson Tide also have the 6th highest pass completion percentage in the country, and they're the 10th best scoring offense in the country as well. So there is that. Bama's offense is also very effective in the red zone as well, ranking 6th in the country in total red zone offense, scoring at about 94% of the time they're there. I forgot what the touchdown to field goal ratio was, but it was very high on the score on the touchdown end. So the defense, I think for the Hogs, look, man, Bryce Young can just kind of do it all. And I feel like there's only been a couple of quarterbacks this year that have completely ripped Arkansas secondary to shreds, or at least make it look easy. Bryce Young will be the 3rd or 4th, whatever you feel like. However many quarterbacks you feel like have shredded Arkansas secondary, this will be the next guy up, I feel like. I don't even, I want to say apply pressure, create chaos in the backfield, so on and so forth. You feel like this is going to be a game where a lot is put on Bryce Young because of how thin they are at running back coming into this game. They may have a guy coming back there. I'm not really sure. Based on what I could find, they're thin. And there is a little bit of a concern based on some of the stuff that I was able to find on social media, on Twitter and Facebook. Their fans are a little bit concerned about the running back depth coming into this game. But so you wonder if they apply that pressure, the way the Razorback defensive front showing multiple looks, being a little bit more aggressive, do the Razorbacks stick to that game plan on defense against the Alabama Crimson Tide? Now, I think Bryce Young obviously is better than Nussmeier on like an entirely different level. He's good enough that he probably can respond to that just fine because they've played far better pass rushing defenses than the Arkansas Razorbacks, and they've come out looking shinier than ever. So I feel like they're going to try and dial up pressure on Young, but he's the kind of quarterback that can rip you up downfield. He can nickel and dime you downfield too. Young's a very capable quarterback and not talked about enough, oddly enough. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of pressure on the Razorback secondary this week, but the defensive line, the front 6 or 7, depending on what look they give you up front on defense, are going to have to step up big time. We know Arkansas, they like to play that keep everything in front of you defense. It could be a matchup issue with Bryce Young with that offense. It could go either way, but I feel like Bama just – I think they're going to clean Arkansas's clock this week. I just do not like this matchup on any level. Bama's defense, so the 12th best third down defense, ranked a few spots behind Arkansas. They have the 4th overall run defense in the country. Yay, another good run defense for Arkansas to deal with, which puts them only behind Georgia in the SEC, giving up just around 84 yards a game on the ground. They're the 34th overall pass defense in the country, allowing just north of about 205 yards a game through the air. They have given up 14 passing touchdowns, though. Third down defense, also rock solid, where they rank 12th in the country. Sophomore linebacker Will Anderson is a freak. He's the best. I think he's the best pass rusher in the SEC. He's right on the he's knocking on the door of 13 sacks. I think he's at 12 and a half. I mean, he's unreal. He's pretty good. And I think he's full go in this game. I don't think he's dealing with any major injuries or anything. So, and he's only I think he's a sophomore. I think he might be a true sophomore. You hope and pray to God he's a redshirt sophomore so that he can get his ass on somewhere. Go to the NFL draft. Please be a third-year guy. Please be draft eligible. After this year. Please. Would love to see Rocket line up in the slot occasionally. I'd like to see A.J. Green line up outside. I mean, he's faster. He's got good hands. He played primarily receiver in high school like Rocket did. They both got good hands, but I don't know, since he put on that weight, I don't know if he's as effective. I shouldn't say it's not like he's not effective. I think he's effective anywhere you give him the ball. But A.J. Green, to me, with that track speed, I think would be a lot more dangerous in open space. But he's having a hard time. Did you guys hear Sam Pittman talk about the transfer portal? Didn't sound good to me. Oglesby is in the portal. Okay, that's to be expected. But he said he wouldn't be the last. And that is kind of to be expected, but it's odd to me he said that after talking about running backs. I hope we're not hearing that A.J. Green or someone else that we're not thinking of. Maybe Javion Hunt. Javion Hunt would be your other guy that might be in the portal or could find himself in the portal. I hope not. I like Hunt. I like him a lot. I think he, honestly, the few times he carried the ball, he made the most of the opportunity. And I think he has shown he could land somewhere and be effective. I think he's that caliber back. The issue is you're just so deep at running back. Like, you really could have – this could be as good as some of the Alex Collins, Jonathan Williams type of backfield where you had – and you had Raleigh Williams in the mix before his severe injury to his neck, and he had to quit football. This could be as deep as that. We haven't seen enough of it. Well, no, that's not fair because we have actually. There's no one standing out like Collins and Jonathan Williams did in that manner. We're just now figuring out, oh, yeah, Dominic Johnson. Yeah, he should be getting 15 carries a game. That's what I mean to say. And this run-heavy offense, it's a little surprising someone hasn't just completely taken over the carries, well, at least up until this point. And then when they do, Dominic Johnson kind of falls flat against LSU. But LSU had a game plan. We're going to do exactly what we did against Bama, and it's going to be effective. The portal is a double-edged sword. Got to love and hate it. Yeah, it is. I agree. Traylon Smith headed out. He's not happy. I don't know if you guys saw him on the sidelines. Sam Pittman a couple of times had to come over and talk to him after being pulled out of the game. Would not shock me, again, that you see another player out of the backfield. I know there's going to be another, I don't know, offensive lineman because you're starting to feel like the depth is building there and there's someone maybe being left out behind the twos. Maybe there's a defensive lineman in there. Maybe Miller, who we haven't seen much of, the kid that came up here with Treylon Burks, the defensive tackle. I think there's going to be more than what we've seen under Pittman. I don't think we see, obviously I don't feel a mass exodus coming on, but I heard he is possibly out for this game. Who are you talking about? Katron Jackson may go. I don't think so because Katron, there's not a number 2 receiver set. Who's your number 2? I don't think so. I think it's open. It's open season for that number 2 spot, and that means going into the offseason without Treylon Burks, the number 1 spot's open for grabs. I'd be surprised at this point. Yeah, he hasn't gotten touches, but he's also a true freshman. You're dealing with a Florida State, a junior transfer. You're dealing with Devion Warren coming back, Tyson Morris, Treylon Burks. I would be surprised at this point. Not to mention, I've talked to a few people. I think he's digging it at Arkansas right now. At the moment, I feel pretty good that he would. But then again, you never know. You never know. He could. Running back real deep, wide receiver no depth. Yeah, it's a strange situation going on at wideout. But you got to like this class they have so far and what it could be. Halftime, the Hogs. I don't get it. Halftime tie, Hogs plus. Okay. As someone who lives in Bama now, I'd take a win over Bama over anything. It makes sense why he transfers with all the young running backs on his roster. Yeah, for Oglesby it does. I get it. Oglesby was a track kid too. You got 2 or 3 track guys. Burks could surprise us and stay though. Listen, he's being regarded as like the 6th receiver in this draft. The 6th receiver. And I've seen different mock drafts where he's dropped, he's climbed. I mean, it doesn't seem like anyone has faith in him being anything beyond like the 20th pick. Maybe you could convince him to stay. If you come back, man, there's a shot you could be at the top of that pile. But I think after his combine, he's a good kid. Did you guys watch his Hog Plus? Did you watch his episode? What do they call that? Where he sits down and he talks with Bo Mattingly. It's really good. He talked about all the hunting that he did down in Warren. It was really good interview. I listened to the whole thing. I was doing laundry, listening to it. It's good stuff. I'm okay with losing some in the running back room if we can get some very solid linebackers from the portal. Very paramount to this scheme to have solid and smart linebackers. I think Polybust is like my that's got to be someone I know because it sounds like it's like I've talked to this person on the phone. You're exactly right. I agree. What's the episode? It's the most recent one they put out, I think. It was last week's. It was really good. If it's a tie at halftime, Hogs win. Oh, I see what you're doing. That's betting stuff. All right, my bad. I'm not a gambler. My bad. I don't know gamble talk. I'm sorry. I want to learn, though, because I do want to get involved more. I'd like to lay some bets down. All right, let's go to the we already talked about what Bama does on defense. Let's talk about the outlook for this game. I tagged it as keys to the game, but it's not really keys to the game, but kind of is. This one's actually pretty easy for me to pick, other than the obvious, not beating Bama since 2006. I just flat out don't like this matchup for Arkansas. Bama's been mostly good on defense through the year with the occasional slip up. The only possible positive for Arkansas is how thin Bama is at running back due to injuries. Bama's a little beat up coming into this game, but you could argue the same point for Arkansas. But who's healthier, right? And does that really matter? Because they've got highly rated 4 and 5 stars behind these guys that could start anywhere in the country. But they always tend to show up for Arkansas, especially at home. Arkansas on defense will need to have the same effort they had against LSU. Multiple looks up front, not being afraid to blitz, go after the quarterback, get some pressure in his face, try to force him to be uncomfortable, see if you can force him to slip up a little bit. He does have 8 picks on the year after all, I think's what I said. Young can probably can and probably will slice up the Arkansas secondary. Why not pin your ears back and give chase a little more from the defense? Mo Brown and the secondary will be challenged this week against these Alabama receivers, but the guy that stands out for me is Jamison Williams, but just about any of these receivers could have a field day considering Arkansas's lack of a real consistent pass rush. I've got the Tide. You're not going to like the score. I think it's a blowout. I think Tide win this thing. I almost don't want to say it, but I don't know. Again, it's like it's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And Bama typically doesn't overlook Arkansas even when they're bad. And we also see Bama do this thing where they get this huge lead, similar to Georgia, go up 35, 37 points, and then they're done. Right? They sub guys out. They've changed their game plan. They're just trying to get out of the game and trying to leave with no injuries. That could happen. I liked what Arkansas's done. Is it a trend on defense, what they did against LSU, similar to what LSU did to Bama defensively? It's clearly something that they like doing. Does Arkansas do the same thing defensively, what they did against LSU? They carry that into the Bama game. Do they build off this win, this huge road win? They're proving they can win these close games, and they're proving they can win in hostile environments despite getting absolutely just destroyed against Georgia. But that's Georgia, right? If that happens, if Arkansas builds off of what they did, they've got this short little win streak going on, and they're able to build off of it. They've gotten used to winning, and they show up and play lights out. I do think they can cover the spread. I think they can make this a tight game. But deep down, I don't like it. I don't like the matchup. All of their strengths are our weaknesses and vice versa. I'm taking Bama 45-10. I think they lay it on thick. They look defensively, they jump routes. I say this every week. I underestimate KJ Jefferson every week, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be the week where he has a couple turnovers. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't think it really matters. But, yeah, I think Bama just beats the shit out of Arkansas this week. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. And no, I'm not shaving my beard if Arkansas covers the spread. Again, they could. I think they have it in them. They're, I would argue, about as healthy as they've been all year. I'd feel a lot better if they had some other pieces here, but I just really think Bama, they're starting to turn it on. They want to, maybe they're a little tired of all this Georgia talk. They want the respect back. Why not beat the living shit out of a top 25 team at home and beat them by 35? That wasn't my first score. My first score was, I think, 28-7, I think was my first score. But I started thinking more and more about it, and I don't like this game at all. I hate this game. Then you hope you can lick your wounds, come out of it, and play better against Missouri. It could be one of those games where, fans, how fickle Razorback fans are, and I stand by that. They're fickle. This is going to happen, and they're going to get all ass hurt and everything, and I get it. I'm probably going to be pissy too in that post game. Probably not going to be very happy. I want them to put up a fight. That's what I want to see. And they're capable of doing it. And they're capable of covering the spread and even making it a close game. I just feel like deep down, like every time I think that about this matchup, the opposite always happens. So it's just kind of a gut call, I would say. I say Arkansas covers the spread, so Scott Swindle. Shave your beard if Arkansas wins. Sarah's probably in chat if she's in here. I was told I'm not allowed to do that. And that's coming straight from the boss, so Burks is a good kid. Huge hands. Yeah, I agree. Feinbaum already has Bama missing the college football playoffs, so they could be wanting to lash out. And that is true. I think Saban's really good at not giving the media what they want, but I think behind the scenes, there's no doubt in my mind, he's probably got it posted somewhere in their locker room like everyone thinks this game's going to be a game with Arkansas. You remember the Georgia – you remember what Kirby Smart – I remember Kirby Smart learned a lot from Saban and what he did to prep for Arkansas. He got so sick and tired of hearing about the Arkansas Cinderella story. The point is They'll use anything they can as a look. See here, look what they're saying. We have to show out against. We've got to prove them wrong. I feel like that's what he's going to do. A lot of coaches are good at doing that, but I feel like Kirby Smart is really good in that department. I feel like Saban is too. If it's not Saban, it's coming from somewhere. 0 blitz every play. Pin your ears back, man. Why not? Why not? I'm a Hope Bobcat UCA grad life hogger in Montana. Oh, I see. Okay. Montana. I think that Georgia atmosphere will help us going into Bryant-Denny Stadium. I think it was it Bumper Pool? Someone had said to the media, more or less admitting they weren't ready for that atmosphere, and that is true. I hope they learn from that, and I think they've got a game plan in motion to dealing with that crowd. That's going to be key. That is going to be key for Arkansas to handle Crimson Tide on the road. Let me scroll up here. Burks could surprise us. Oh, I already read that, didn't I? I think Catalan is gone with his tweets. Yeah, I read that. His tweets were not promising. We talked about that on Wednesday. All right. So if you've got, for those of you who are watching this after the fact, if you have, I want to know, do you think Arkansas can cover this almost, 21-point spread? Tell me what you think. I'm curious if you think the Hogs could cover it. I want to know. Give me your score. Someone had a question. I wanted to read it. I hope AJ Green doesn't leave. I don't want AJ Green to leave either. Michael Kopesky. I don't want him to leave. So, yeah. If you guys want to join our Discord, that link is provided for you down below. We had a quarterback spotlight in a really cool interview last week. It was good. And I think he brought up some really good points. If you weren't there, you missed out, and a lot of you missed out, man. It was good stuff. If you want to join, I want to do more of that stuff, and you guys, you got to be there for it, for those type of things. Plus, I give them the questions first over there on Discord. They get the question of the day first. So, Chris Jones on our Discord says, so Odom is 3-0 against freshman quarterbacks. He shows as a sophomore, but this is his first year starting. Does Odom be successful at getting pressure on him and forcing him into mistakes? That's from Chris Jones in our Discord. I don't know. Arkansas's really inconsistent in that department. I think they're capable, especially if they're getting guys healed up for this game. You wonder, like, how healed up are they? Can they apply pressure on Bryant? I don't know. I don't know, man. You have to show them some different looks. You have to do something a little different. Bryce Young is that's who I meant to say. Sorry. Bryce Young is a very capable quarterback who could slice you up, man. I mean, the guy's the second leading, passer in the SEC. 38-35 Hogs is Hunter. Love you, Tygo Hogs. Hey, appreciate it, Ross. 42-17 no contest. I'm assuming Mason's saying Arkansas losing 42-17. Bama's beatable. I think they're gettable, but just not against the Hogs, or not for the Hogs. I just don't see it. I just don't. I think that Iron Bowl is going to be interesting to watch too. I wonder if we start off with a trick play on offense again. Don't think we should, because we did in 2 consecutive games. I don't want to see any double passes behind the 10-yard line this week. If that happens, if you are forced, which you very well could be against Bama, and this could be one of those kind of games where it's, Bama keeping us on our side of the field the whole game. I don't know that they're that good, but they're certainly capable of doing that. What kind of goofball things does he draw up back behind, in that sort of situation where KJ's heels are on the goal line, on his own goal line? I guess that would be the only circumstance that your heels would be on a goal line, is if you're on your own for quarterback. But I'm curious what he does. Please, no double passes behind your 10. I don't mind the occasional trick play a little early. I mean, I don't mind it sometimes, just not on key third downs and things like that. Tomorrow, also on the postgame show, I'm going to be drinking some of these tomorrow. Oh, I just saw these at Wally World from Core Brewing and Distilling Company, Los Santos. I'm assuming they put these out for Halloween. 6.2% alcohol. India Pale Ale, brewed right here, Springdale, Arkansas. So I'm gonna be drinking some of these. Here you go. Let me crack one off. Get off there. That's what the can looks like. Isn't that cool? That's some badass artwork. Look at that artwork. That's pretty sweet. I'm digging it. Ooh, and they're cold. I don't drink. I'm an evening. If I'm gonna have a beer, I'm gonna have one in the evening. So we'll be drinking some of these tomorrow, or cracking one open on the stream. I've never had it. I do like some of their stuff. Core Brewing, who've not bad. It says their label says drinkable, clean, and juicy. Oh, all right. So we'll try that bad boy out tomorrow night tomorrow evening after the game. So all right, CBS. I will be here post game show as always. And tomorrow, also, I'll try to give you guys a schedule for next week, what that might look like. I plan on doing a post game for Mizzou. Hopefully, that's the plan. We've got to get some things figured out on the family side of stuff, what we're doing for Thanksgiving. But maybe it'll be a normal week, maybe not. It could just be a week where I only stream like once or twice, but I'll try to keep you guys up to date. All right? Okay. Go Hogs. Remember, I've got Bama mud stomping. But, hey, if I'm wrong, if they cover the spread, feel free to come here tomorrow in the postgame and tell me all about it. All right, Woo Pig, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Hogs.
At Direct Service